Hey, and welcome back to the last day of the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, and the first film, which doesn't make it into the 31 Days of Horror because it's not a horror film. It is a drama, a comedy of sorts, a dark fantasy. I think is how you kind of do it.
I won't say duck, I would say stupid.
She loved it. And we are talking about The Lure, a film that got a lot of, critical acclaim, and I know several people. I know a guy, this is his third time seeing the movie. In fact, he brought his wife out because he loved it so much. I don't know why.
They may be getting a divorce. Just kidding.
But yes, this is essentially a Polish take on the Little Mermaid story. It's the story of...
An adult version.
Yes, an adult version. It's a story of two sister mermaids who are found by, a group of musicians, and mermaids are sirens, of course, right? So they have beautiful voices, though honestly, no, not so much.
They're all right.
This music troupe brings them into their act, and while one girl tends to fall in love, the other one decides that, she wants to eat some humans.
Yeah. That's another one of the...
So I think mermaids eat humans. We missed the beginning of the movie.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we missed the beginning of the movie. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, but it might have explained a little bit that we missed.
Because I've never heard of mermaids eating humans.
No, but whatever. Have you heard of fairies eating humans?
No.
Well, there's movies about fairies eating humans. And yeah, so, whoa. It's, it's an interesting movie. The mermaids are naked quite a bit, and they don't have vaginas. And I think one of the reasons for them being naked so much is because this whole idea of not having a vagina is it's a main plot point. Because this mermaid who falls in love, she wants to have sex. But she can't because she's a fish, right? Though at one point she did say, she was like, put it in the hole, right? Like she literally got into a bathtub so she could become a mermaid, yes. And she's like, put it in.
Yeah,
and I'm like, huh?
Where
what? Like, I don't know, but all my mermaid tales said that there was nothing going on. So I don't know what she was talking about. But yes, so of course this has some additional mythos, which involved if you fall in love, if you're a mermaid and you fall in love, and you give yourself, if you become human, is that part of it, the mythos?
Was it?
I think it might be. I don't know.
I thought it was just if she fell in love in general.
Oh, maybe. Maybe you didn't need to become human. That was just an added bonus? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, something along the lines of if you're a mermaid and you fall in love and that person essentially dumps you and marries somebody else, you have to eat them. Or else you turn into sea foam.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think the idea is they wanted to go off and explore the human world. I think that's what it was, and they used their talents as sirens to do so with this music group. The weird thing that I maybe we missed it at the beginning, and that's part of it. They had no problems like showing they were mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like people knew that mermaids existed. So apparently in this world mermaids are around, and they meet up with other people who I'm thinking are from the sea. Like there's a guy named Triton, which is supposed to be like a god of the sea, right? Like the Triton. And there were other people that seemed to be from the sea or sent from their father or something. So there's a lot of human-looking people that I think actually are supposed to live in the sea. But the only ones we see that are clearly supposed to be in the sea are the mermaids who... Was it just, like, automatically when they get wet?
Well, that's another thing that
Because
bothered me.
the ending didn't do that.
No.
So, during the film, essentially, any time they would get wet, I mean, they are actually shown people sprinkling water on them to keep them wet and stuff like that. That's how, you know, they're the mermaids, right? So, whenever they get wet, mermaid. Which makes sense, right? There's a lot of things, movies and other things, where mythos where, yes, they are only a mermaid. What, was Splash like that?
I didn't see that.
Oh. But yeah, so, you know, I guess the comedy aspect is they're playing human, and then they get wet, and then it's like, boom, I'm a mermaid, oh my god! But then at the end, one of the mermaids just walked into the water and was standing there in her pants, and eventually turned into a mermaid, I guess. But every other time it was like, instant, you're a mermaid. So, I don't know. It was a little weird.
It was a lot weird.
It was a lot weird. Do you have any comments?
Just looking at it so late that I don't remember a lot of them. It had subtitles.
Yes.
Also.
Yes. But now we've gotten over the subtitle thing. We've seen a movie and it had subtitles and you liked it.
Which was also a mermaid.
It was.
Yeah.
It was The Mermaid.
Yeah. But that was
How
good.
weird is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Went from liking subtitles to not liking subtitles,
No.
all based on mermaids.
No, and actually the subtitles didn't bother me that much because I guess I'm getting more used to it.
Well, and
But
that's-
I would have preferred not to have it.
Well, yeah. And especially with this one, because honestly, the subtitles for this film were terrible. Not only were they bad translations, I don't even speak Polish, but I could tell that the translations weren't what they were actually saying. That's how bad the translations were. And the other thing was, they would often have, you know, here's the subtitles, but the subtitles were like for several lines of dialogue these people were saying. So it's like, here it is, you read the subtitles, but you could have read what they were going to be saying like in the next line already before they actually did it. So you're trying to match it up with what's going on, you know, on screen, and you're like, okay, that didn't really. Now it matches up. I get it. All right. So yeah. Several moments of bad subtitling. What was weird, and I actually liked this about it, though it was. They could have gone about it a little bit different. They had mermaids speak, which I don't think anybody else could. Could they hear it? Or did they just not understand it?
I was under the impression that they couldn't hear it.
That's what it seemed like. But it was obviously noise. But the filmmakers used, like, dolphins and whales and stuff like that to have this mermaid talk. So they didn't even move their lips or anything. It just sort of happened, right? So it's almost like telepathic conversations. And so you'd have these weird noises, right? And then there was subtitles to that, which I thought that was kind of cool, right? Like they're having this mermaid talk. It took me a second because we arrived late to figure out that that's what was happening. Because, like I said, I'm watching subtitles and nobody's moving their lips. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? There's no talking. What are these subtitles for? And I clued in. But then later on in the film, there was more of this weird mermaid talk, but no subtitles. So, what were they saying? I don't know. And I mean, it's not like it was in a foreign language. It was in a made-up language. Like, there should have been subtitles. But, yeah. Oh, we failed to mention something. It's a musical. Yeah.
But not in a good way.
Well, you're not a big musical fan in general.
No.
So what's the good way?
There are some that are good.
Yeah, so this was a musical.
Yeah, a musical with subtitles.
With
you have to read
subtitles.
quickly.
But like I said, it usually came like 2 sentences early. And this is one of the areas where it was clear that the subtitles were off. Because it's a musical, right? You know that a lot of songs tend to rhyme, right? So you have a rhyme line, and then have another one, and then the next line rhymes with the previous line. So they were doing this. And they were doing it in English. So they're singing in Polish, and the Polish words they rhymed. I could hear the rhyme. But then you're reading the subtitles, and the subtitles also rhymed. Not likely. And I think one of the problems was, because they wanted to make it rhyme like it's a song, the translations did not really work. They were like really weird poetry that I don't know, I couldn't figure out what the hell they were talking about half the time. I'm just like, what? What, like, it's it's a lot. Sometimes they were using phrases, I'm like, that's not what the English would say. That's probably the actual translation, and that's what you would expect. But then other times you're like, this is what the English would say. That's clearly not what you said. At one point they translated Disney World as Orlando. They actually said Disney World in English in the conversation, and I'm looking at the subtitles, and the only thing there that even comes close to it is Orlando. Yes, Disney World is in Orlando, but they were talking about going to Disney World. They weren't talking about going to Orlando.
See, you know what? And I know you said that, but I didn't even notice that. Like, I guess I was into the subtitles.
You were reading
so
the
much.
subtitles, yeah.
I wasn't even listening.
Yeah, because I was, as soon as I started cluing into the fact that what they were saying and what was on the screen, like, weren't exactly the same thing, I started listening to it more and more and being like, okay, can I pick out words and translate them? And I think I did a pretty good job, actually, considering I have no idea what Polish is. Nothing. I don't know any Polish. But yeah, it was clear that the subtitles were not up to par, and when it came to the songs, it was very, very clear. Now, in most musicals, you have what I like to call like song talk, where somebody's talking, essentially, like I am, but they're doing it melodically, right? I'm going to the bathroom, gonna take you know. But in this particular, I don't even know why I used that. I don't know. It just popped in my head. In this particular musical, that's not what they were doing. They were actually doing proper songs. Now, I get that they are a performing group, so a lot of the songs are songs that they're performing. But there are moments where, you know, people are singing to each other and stuff like that, but they're doing proper songs where they have like a chorus and verses and you know, even a bridge and then, you know, whatever. It's like proper song structure and repetition. Like, you know, like the chorus actually repeats. It's not like a different thing. So it was pretty much all like that. I didn't notice anything where it wasn't like that. So that aspect of the musical was a little different. I can't say that it was better or worse. It was just that, you know, it was different. It wasn't what you would typically get from that type of film. What else was there? Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of blood. A little bit of blood going on. Some crazy surgery. Some throat gouging, chomping, if you will. Yeah. It's just a weird little movie, and I don't mind the weirdness of it. I think my problem with the film was that honestly, I think most of it comes from the translation. I could not figure out what the hell they were saying half the time because it didn't make any sense.
The whole movie didn't make any sense.
Well, it did make it. It's The Little Mermaid. It's just sea foam at the end, you know.
Not
Turn into sea foam.
necessarily.
Well, no, I know, but you know, like you don't eat the guy who cheats on you. You turn into sea foam. So, guess you better eat the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the lesson here.
That's the lesson, right?
Oh.
But yeah, I was disappointed. I expected better music.
But I'm telling you, that's typical, like, seriously.
Yeah, I get it. I wanted more. I think I only liked one of the songs.
Which one? The one where they were going crazy?
Yeah, the crazy song, yeah. It's kind of like a electro song type thing.
I knew it.
Well, I got the whole club was all in there. Like, old people were like, yeah, yeah. I mean, if the old people are getting into it, you know it's good, right? But yeah, you you had mentioned that it's a lot like Russian.
What is the movie?
The movie in general,
Yes.
yeah.
Because it's if you haven't seen like Russian TV shows and stuff, which you probably haven't, that's what that movie pretty much is. It's like weird and off the wall, and so yeah, it just is. And it, like, part of it kind of reminded me, even like the clothes for the shows and stuff like that, kind of reminded me, I guess, of like 80s or something. Like, not of this time, right? But no, it doesn't even matter. This could be something that's done like last month, the same kind of thing. That's just the style. I'm not lying, it's true.
She knows from experience. Yeah, so neither of us were really impressed with the film. I think I was going out in with too high expectations. I think that was my problem.
I had no expectations, and it delivered.
If you were going to give it a rating, what would you
1.
give it? 1. I'm giving it a 2. Yeah. Sorry, The Lure. I just wanted more. I wanted more, and I'm even the fact that there's naked people throughout most of the movie did not give you enough sway to get this guy to go, hey, it's a great movie. No, I'm sorry.
That lowered it too. I don't need to see that.
No.
Like, I got it for the one part, right? Because it's like the show and whatever. So I kind of like, all right, I can let that go.
And even some of the scenes, I got it. The one where the brunette just, she's talking about she's horny or something like that was essentially the song. Right? Like, was that not the song? Like, she's essentially like, I'm jonesing for some action, but I'm a fish. I think that's what it was, wasn't it? Because she essentially gets naked and then she's prancing around. She's going. I'm just like, what am I? And that was shortly after we got there too.
Yeah, I wonder what we missed.
I don't know. But yeah, if you like a lot of nudity in your movies, this has a lot.
I wouldn't say a lot.
You just it's not a porno type lot,
No.
but I mean, as long as you're okay with your nudity being fish, there's quite a bit.
Yeah, and those freaking tails were unrealistic. Why were they so big?
Yeah, they were like gigantically long.
No, like
they were like mermaid. You know how a fish has a certain length and stuff like these were like snakes. They were like sea snakes.
She's trying even to get in the water, right? And it's like taking forever. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I had the same reaction. I'm just like, why are their tails so long?
No, it's not necessary.
That's
Like I could see if
weird.
one of them was like taller, a lot taller than the other one, then hers gets to be longer. But no, they were just.
But they should still be proportionate.
Yeah, no, just way too big for no reason.
They were like, essentially you have the upper torso, right? And I'd say the tail is at least 2.5 times that length,
That was way too.
right? And I'm like, well, if you look at a human body, I get maybe 1.5. So you'd have the portion where you have the legs, and then you'd have the fins at the end. So like 1.5. But no, they were just kept going. It was just like, weird. Yeah. But I mean that's whatever. I mean that's our preconceived notion of what a mermaid should look like. But
Not like that, and they should have a bra on.
and they should have seashells.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not going to have her recommend for the lure. She's not going to have her recommend for the lure. But I know a lot of people who would recommend the lure. So...
I don't want to know what those people are into, seriously.
Whatever. If you're into dark fantasy and you don't have enough mermaid movies in your life, check out the lure. That's the best I can do. She's done. We're done. Thanks for watching. Till next video. Take care. Have a good one.